that, we'll continue our ongoing discussion with Clifford Pisano regarding the developers who are encroaching on an area that he has maintained exclusively for 40 years out there in Revere at 525 Beach Street. Now, sir, I understand, are you in court over this in the land court?
Yes, I have pending litigation going on right now, waiting to hear back from the judge who said no more filings, no more letters, and no emails. The defendant's attorney wrote a letter, sent an email, and made a filing in court. Everything the judge told us not to do.
And I understand they were supposed to work with you because you filed the lawsuit and you are claiming you have adverse possession in and of your own accord, irrespective of your parents.
Correct.
Okay, because your parents are the owners of the property.
Right. I still maintained and I still have the adverse possession rights to that strip, as well as standing in the court to sue the developers like I did the first time.
Right, and I remember we looked at some of the case law that some of us researched and pulled it up, and that's been filed into the case. And then there has been a new filing recently by an ACLU member. Could you tell us about that?
Her name is Wanda Strange. She is an ACLU member, and she's an interested third party. She's been watching this case from the beginning. She has seen everything underhanded that my parents' attorney has done to their own client.
Yeah, and I understand that you filed a bar complaint along with that.
Yes, I filed a bar complaint before.
Right.
Before she went to file.
Hers.
Yes.
Yeah, and hers is a certificate of bad faith, an affidavit of bad faith.
Yes, bad faith because of the developers and the attorneys.
I see, and I know at one point there was an issue where there was money on the table, and now, because we don't know who's paying the attorney who's supposedly representing your parents. I think it might be the developers. Who's paying her?
The developers are paying for their attorney.
It's a joke.
Yeah, I know, it's a joke.
Complete joke. Let's move along then. There's also another area of concern at that site involving the runoffs and the EPA issue, which we've been on for years now. A couple of years now, because we knew that the storage tanks were underneath there with the gas from the gasoline company that was there. And there's an issue now.
And the issue of the runoff is that they have no hay bales in front of their property to keep the contamination from running off the property into the street to go into the storm drains.
And you have some correspondence from someone about that, indicating that someone's being negligent. Tell me about that.
I have spoken with the DEP, who advised me to call the Conservation Commission in the City of Revere. I contacted them, left a voicemail. They didn't get back to me. I sent an email out to Andrew DeSantis from the Conservation Commission. And Andrew DeSantis sent me an email back and stated that the department...
Yeah, his email stated someone was being negligent.
The DEP is being negligent in their responsibility to clean this up and to make sure this is done the right way. With hay bales all around this whole property, like every other construction site that is contaminated. I see hay bales around the construction sites. They're supposed to do this, they're not.
Right, and they didn't do their job in the first instance when we went to file a complaint with them. And it took them forever to give us an actual written response denying our complaint last year. And then furthermore, the whole thing was processed through the city without the developer ever admitting or giving a public comment period to the fact that there was contamination there from the gas tanks.
That's because they try to hush it up.
Right, it went through zoning and it went through site plan review, and never was an admission made about that. And Ira Novoselsky knew it was contaminated because he was present during the testing.
Right, and also that fraudulent zoning application from the last from the Tommy Ambrosino administration.
Yeah.
They might want to check that fraudulent zoning application out because that's the only way they got it through site plan review without mentioning contamination.
Right, indicating that it hadn't happened, but the testing had happened.
Right,
in point of fact. Yes. And DEP did nothing about that.
Right, they did nothing about that.
Right, they said, oh, we can't prove that the owner had it at the time. And I said, well, here's the testing during that time period, and they just ran from it.
Right, they ran from it. They were as afraid of us as the developers are. And everybody that works for the developers, because they know we're out there filming, taking pictures of everything. Like they were cutting the trees down or trimming the trees or touching the trees, which are all protected by federal case law.
Well, it's got to get interesting. Let's see what the judge does in land court. I hope you get a decision in your favor. It seems obvious, and they've skirted it around to go to your parents. Your mother's 87 years old and had a stroke, and they're out there, making contracts with her.
On a holiday.
On a holiday, right. It's insane. Clifford Pisano, thank you for your time.
You're welcome.